did it. I'ma tell him I rose up. I'm a survivor. Fight for my life. I'ma get stronger. I will rise. I'm a survivor. Fight for my life. I'ma get stronger.
What's up, guys? Hope you're all well. So today we are going to be taking a look at my League 2 predictions for the upcoming 24-25 season. Before we get into the predictions, guys, please be sure to smash the like button and also please be sure to hit the subscribe button. We are on the road to 100 subscribers. We are now at 83 subscribers. So guys, thank you so much for the support and let's get straight into the predictions. Okay then, so the first team that I've got going down in 24th place, I've got Bromley. Now, Bromley came up to League 2 via the National League playoffs. They won the National League playoffs, and now they are in League 2. They're in the Football League for their very first time ever. So I bet Bromley fans are absolutely buzzing for this season coming up. However, I just don't think they're going to have enough quality to stay up. If these guys do go down, I'm expecting it to be via a very small margin. I'm expecting the relegations battle to be very cagey and have a lot of fight going in it. So if Bromley do go down, then I don't expect it to be via a lot. I expect them to give the League 2 a very good go. And I expect them to do that because it's their very first time in the Football League and they're going to try and finish as hard as they can. However, I just don't think they're going to have enough qualities to stay up. So 24th place for Bromley for me. In 23rd place, and my second team to go down in League 2, I've got Morecambe. Now, as some of us already know, Morecambe are currently struggling with some financial problems and they've had to bring in like 15 players. That really baffled me because I was just like, what? How many? The first time I saw that. But it is understandable because they have to do something in order to get out of that financial issue. However, bringing in lots of players like that, bringing in so many players can backfire on you. And I'm kind of have a feeling that that is going to happen to Morecambe. I'm sorry, Morecambe fans, I know you don't want to hear that, but two teams have to go down from this league, and I just have a feeling that Morecambe is going to be one of them. So, yeah, 23rd place for Morecambe for me. Coming in at 22nd then, and just surviving relegation, I've got Harrogate Town. Now, Harrogate Town had a pretty decent season last season. They had a season where they were sniffing around the playoffs. They had a season where they were picking out some good results. However, next season, I feel like they're going to lose a couple of key players, and when you lose a key player, it's very important that you try and replace that key player. However, I just have a feeling that Harrogate are going to have a poorer season next season and be in a relegation scrap. However, I do have them to just survive. I do have them to just stay up. But yeah, 22nd place for Harrogate for me. I'm going to have them to just stay up. Coming in at 21st, I've got Accrington Stanley. Who are they? No, in all seriousness, I've got Accrington to just stay up. Last season, they didn't really have the season that they really wanted. Obviously, when you get relegated, your first instinct is to be like, right, let's try and get back up to that league. But unfortunately for Accrington, it didn't really happen that way. They ended up finishing bottom half of the table. So yeah, pretty underwhelming for Accrington there. Next season, I feel like they're going to have a pretty similar season to what they had last season and finish bottom half of the table again, but I've still got them to just stay up. Yeah, I feel like Accrington are going to have a pretty decent season, but towards the end of the season, I feel like they're going to have a little bit of a drop-off and finish in 21st. So yeah, 21st place for Accrington for me. What do you guys think on that one? Next up in 20th place, I've got Salford City. Salford are a team that's known to do quite well in this league. Obviously, a couple of seasons ago, they made it to the playoffs. Unfortunately for them, they lost in the playoffs. They didn't win. But then last season, they managed to have a massive drop-off, which is quite strange. But like I said in the National League predictions video, it does happen. You do have teams that do well one season and drop off a bit in the following season. I just feel like Salford City are going to have a similar season. I think they're going to have a pretty good season, grind out a couple of good wins, but eventually finish bottom half of the table again. So yeah, 20th place for Salford City for me. Next up in 19th, I've got Newport County. This is pretty much a standard placement for Newport nowadays. But I've heard a few people say that last season that Newport did really, really badly. I don't really look at it that way. Obviously, last season they had grinded out a couple of good wins. For me, it was the inconsistency for them. They were winning one week and then losing a few in the following weeks. It was sort of like that for Newport. I feel like Newport are going to have a similar season. I think they're going to grind out some good wins, grind out some good draws, some really crucial draws and wins, but eventually finish bottom half of the table again. It's pretty much a standard position for Newport. I would like to see them push on a little bit, but I don't think it will be just yet. So yeah, 19th place for Newport for me. Next up in 18th place, I've got Barrow. Now I know a lot of people will be a bit shocked about that, but I just feel like Barrow are going to have a little bit of a poorer season. Yes, last season they finished just outside the playoffs, but sometimes you see teams that have a drop off the following season, and I feel like I just have a feeling that that team's going to be Barrow. They've lost a few key players already, and obviously, like I said earlier, it's their job to try and replace those players, because if they don't and they get players that aren't as good as those players, they're not going to do as well, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm sorry, Barrow fans. I know you guys want me to probably put you guys a bit higher, but it's all down to what you do with those outgoings, because obviously it's your job to try and replace those good players that did well for you last season. Yeah, I just feel like Barrow are going to have a poorer season. So yeah, 18th place for Barrow for me. In 17th place, I've got Colchester United. Now, Colchester, throughout the past 2 seasons or so, they've been struggling quite a bit in League Two. They've survived relegation only just in both seasons. And so I am quite worried about Colchester. It does worry me that they probably will get sucked into it at some point and get relegated. However, next season I have a little bit more faith in them. I think they're going to probably push on a little bit. I think it is about time that they try and push on higher up the table. I know 17th is still like bottom half of the table, but it's still a little bit of an improvement from the past 2 seasons. So yeah, I've got a little bit more faith in them. So yeah, 17th for Colchester for me. In 16th place, I've got Tranmere Rovers. Now, Tranmere Rovers are a quite well-known team to the Football League. They're quite a big team. However, I just feel like they've been like a mid-table team for quite a few seasons now, and I feel like Tranmere next season are going to have a very similar season. 16th place is still quite a good placement. Obviously, it would be nice to see Tranmere push on a little bit as well, try and get into playoffs or possibly in the top 3, try and get promoted back to League One. However, I don't think the time is coming just yet. I think it will be in a few seasons, but not just yet. So 16th place for Tranmere Rovers for me. In 15th place, I've got Grimsby Town. Now, Grimsby Town have won a few trophies in the past. Not major trophies, because I don't think they've won an FA Cup or like a Carabao Cup or anything, but they have won a few league titles. They've won the EFL trophy a few times. I just feel like Grimsby, it'll be nice to see them get back to doing really well, being successful at winning league titles and that. Obviously, as we know, that they've been down in the National League for quite a few times, and they've ever since they've been back in League Two, they've been a very mid-table to bottom half of the table sort of team. So for me, it would be nice to see them get back up to those leagues, try and win league titles, win the playoffs, get back into like League One or maybe even the Championship. However, I don't think that time is coming just yet. I do think it will take a couple of seasons for them to get back up there first. So yeah, 15th place for Grimsby Town for me. In 14th place, I've got Walsall. Now, Walsall are a team that's pretty much a veteran to League Two now. They've been in this league for quite a while. Over the past few seasons, I'd say they are improving. They are improving ever so slightly. Obviously, over the past few seasons, they've been quite a mid-table sort of team. Last season, they did quite well. They managed to finish, I think, was it just outside the playoffs? No, not just outside the playoffs. It was just outside the top 10, just like 11th or something. It was around that sort of area. I think Walsall next season are going to be mid-table again, but still have quite a decent season. So yeah, 14th place for Walsall for me. In 13th place, I've got AFC Wimbledon. Now, AFC Wimbledon are pretty much similar to Walsall. They've been in this league for quite a few seasons now. I feel like AFC Wimbledon have a good chance of trying to challenge for the playoffs. I feel like they're quite a good team now. However, I just think they're going to have a little bit of a mid-table sort of season and just miss out. I do like AFC Wimbledon. I would like to see them back in League One someday, but I don't think it's going to be just yet. So yeah, 13th place for AFC Wimbledon for me. In 12th place then, I've got Swindon Town. Now, Swindon Town are my favourite League 2 side. I would like to see them back in League 1 or possibly even the Championship at some point. But over the past few seasons, they have been struggling in League 2. They're quite a big club for League 2, but as we've seen over the past few years, you do see big clubs go down to League 2 and National League. You do see that. It all depends on how those players play and how their transfer window goes and how their businesses run throughout that season. I just feel like Swindon Town are going to improve from last season. Last season, they finished bottom half of the table in 19th place, I think it was. Pretty much a very underwhelming season for Swindon Town. I expected them to finish a bit higher, but obviously, this is why we love football, because anything can happen. So next season, I do feel like Swindon Town will improve a little bit. I think they'll be in and around the playoffs, but I just feel like they're going to just miss out. So yeah, 12th place for Swindon Town for me. In 11th place, just missing out of the top 10, I've got Crewe Alexandra. Now, last season, Crewe Alexandra had a very good season. They almost got promoted. However, unfortunately for them, they did lose in the League 2 playoff final at Wembley. So next season they're going to be in another League 2 season fighting for promotion. However, I just have a feeling that they're going to just miss out on the playoffs next season. I think they're still going to have a pretty solid season. I feel like they're going to grind out some good wins, some good results, and play some good football. However, I feel like League 2 next season is going to be a bit scrappy, quite cagey, a little bit tougher, and so I feel like Crewe are just going to miss out. But it's still a very good season, so yeah, 11th place for Crewe Alexandra for me. Coming in at 10th place and just breaking into the top 10, I've got Gillingham. Now, Gillingham are one of the favourites to possibly get promoted next season. However, I feel like there's going to be a lot of teams next season that are probably going to challenge them and try and get promoted as well. Obviously, like I said in the previous section where I talked about Crewe Alexandra, there's going to be a very cagey and scrappy League 2 season next season. I feel like Gillingham are going to be in around the playoffs. I feel like they're going to get into the playoff position at some point. However, I just have a feeling that they're going to miss out as well. So, yeah, still a solid season for Gillingham. I think they're going to grind out some good wins, play some good football, but just miss out of the playoffs. So 10th place for Gillingham for me. In 9th place then, I've got Fleetwood, the first of the newly relegated sides from League 1 down to League 2. Next season, I feel like it's going to be mainly a rebuild season for Fleetwood. Fleetwood have been in League 1 for quite a few seasons. They've been in the playoff positions. They've been around mid-table. They've been doing quite well in League 1. However, last season, something just didn't quite click. Something didn't work out the way they wanted to. I feel like Fleetwood are going to have a rebuild season. I feel like they're going to be in around the playoffs. I feel like they're going to try and get promoted again. However, I feel like they are going to barely miss out. So yeah, 9th place for Fleetwood for me. In 8th place, and my final team to barely miss the playoffs, I've got MK Dons. Now, MK Dons are well known to be quite strong in these lower leagues. We've seen them get up to the Championship before. We've seen them get into League 1 playoffs. We've seen them do really well. However, last season they got into the playoffs, which is really good for them, but they got hammered by Crawley Town. Was it like 8-1 on aggregate? My God. Sorry, guys. However, I feel like next season they're going to have a similar season. They're going to be really strong. However, I do see them barely missing out because I feel like there's 7 teams there that will probably beat MK Dons to the League 2 playoffs. So yeah, still a solid season, but I feel like they're just going to barely miss out. So 8th place for MK Dons for me. Okay then guys, it is time for the League 2 playoff positions. Just sneaking into my playoff positions, I've got Cheltenham Town to finish in 7th place. Now, Cheltenham Town are the second newly relegated side down to League 2 from League 1. I just feel like next season Cheltenham Town are going to have a very good season. I feel like they are going to sneak into the playoffs and do really well. Obviously, last season they did get relegated down to League 2. They are a strong suit. I do like Cheltenham Town. I feel like they can play some very good football at times. They can grind out some good wins. But yeah, I feel like Cheltenham Town are going to do really well and get into the playoffs. So yeah, 7th place for Cheltenham Town for me. Coming in at 6th place and my second team to jump into the playoffs, I've got Bradford City. Now, Bradford City are a very, very big club for League 2. I feel like it is about time that they try and push right up the table, try and get back into League 1, possibly push into the Championship as well. I feel like Bradford City next season is going to be their time. I feel like they are going to have a very good season and sneak into the playoffs. I do like Bradford City. I think they are a very good club. They are a well-run club. Obviously, last season they didn't really have the sort of season that they really wanted. They had the finish that they probably would have liked, but they didn't really have the full season that they really wanted. Obviously, last season they spent quite a bit of time down in the bottom half of the table, which isn't really something that you're used to seeing Bradford City do. I feel like next season Bradford City are going to have a very good season. So yeah, 6th place for Bradford for me. In 5th place, on my third team to jump into the playoffs, I've got Doncaster Rovers. Now, Doncaster are also a big club. I feel like next season they're going to have a very good season. Last season they had a very, very good finish. They for a lot of the season they were in like the bottom half of the table. They were sort of struggling. They were in like a relegation scrap, and all of a sudden, the second half of the season, I think it was, something just clicked, and they started to boost right up the table, and they ended up finishing right in the playoffs. Unfortunately for Doncaster, it wasn't the full thing. They didn't jump all the way up the table and win the playoffs. That didn't happen for them. But I feel like next season they are going to sneak into the playoffs again. I don't know whether they're going to win it or not, or because obviously we don't know which teams are going to be in the playoffs. We don't know where every team is going to finish. But this is just a prediction. So yeah, 5th place for Doncaster for me. I think they're going to have a very good season. Coming in at 4th place and my final team to reach the playoffs, I've got Port Vale, the third team to get relegated down from League 1 down to League 2. I just feel like Port Vale are going to be one of the really strong suits to League 2 next season. I feel like Port Vale are really going to offer a lot of good football and lots of good wins and that. I feel like Port Vale are going to be very, very strong. Obviously, last season didn't go their way. They got relegated. But yeah, next season I feel like they're going to do really well and sneak right into the playoffs. I feel like they're going to be in like a title race as well, but unfortunately I feel like they're going to just miss out on the title race but still finish inside the playoffs. So yeah, 4th place for Port Vale for me. Okay, it's time for the automatic promotion spots. Now, coming into 3rd place, the first team to get an automatic promotion for me, I've got Carlisle United, the final team to get relegated from League 1 down to League 2. I feel like Carlisle are going to be very, very strong next season. I think they're going to sign a few good players and be very, very strong. I feel like they're going to be in a title race as well. I feel like they're going to be in around the playoffs and title race for pretty much the whole season. I just feel like Carlisle are just going to be do really, really well. Last season they finished bottom of League 1, which isn't really ideal for them, but they were new to League 1. They got promoted to League 1, but unfortunately they finished bottom. But next season in League 2, I feel like they're going to be a very strong suit and finish in the top 3 and get automatically promoted. So yeah, third place for Carlisle United for me. Coming in at second place then, I've got Chesterfield. Now Chesterfield are newly promoted to League 2 from the National League. They won the National League with over 90 points, which was very, very good for them. So first of all, I'd like to say a very, very well done to Chesterfield for getting automatically promoted and winning on 90 points. That is absolutely amazing. Well done. Chesterfield are also the bookies' favourites to not only get promoted, but to also win the league. But for me, I don't really see them winning the league. I feel like they are going to get automatically promoted. I feel like they're going to be very, very good. They're going to make some very good signings and, yeah, just do really well next season and get automatically promoted. So, yeah, second place for Chesterfield for me. And finally, my champions of League 2 is going to go to Notts County. Now, I do really like Notts County. I think they're a very good club. Last season, they were a very fun team to watch because they scored a lot of goals, but they also conceded a lot of goals. I feel like next season, if they improve their defence, because obviously that's where all those conceded goals came from. If they improve their defence, they could do really, really well next season. Also, they did lose Langstaff to Millwall, so it's going to be quite important for them to probably replace him. But other than that, they've still got quite a few good strikers in, like David McGoldrick. They've got quite a few other good players in there that could probably help them get promoted. And I feel like Notts County are going to do it next season. I feel like they're going to be in a title race, in a playoff scrap, but I feel like they are going to end up doing it and win the league. And just imagine that though, guys. Imagine a League 2 title race between Notts County and Chesterfield, two teams that are in the Midlands and two teams that are quite near each other in the country as well. I feel like that will be quite a good title race. So yeah, Notts County are winning the league for me. What do you guys think on that one? So there you have it, guys. That is my official League 2 predictions for the upcoming 24-25 season. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, please be sure to share your predictions down in the comments below. Share your thoughts on what you think of my predictions. Don't get too childish down in the comments below. Don't say, oh, my team should have been in that spot. It's just a prediction. I could be wrong on a lot of these. We really don't know. But yeah, as always, guys, I hope you've all enjoyed this video. Remember to like the video, subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye, guys.